right from wrong. And the tears been falling for so long. But the more you try to work it out, it seems you're going around in circles. But your best is yet to come. Activating success. Activating success. Activating success. Activating success. Get on your feet, hold your head.
Welcome to a new and exciting episode of Activating Success. Activating Success is aimed at encouraging you to stay inspired, to do something positive with your life, and to be remembered for something. A lot of people have a habit of starting and not finishing something. It is not enough to start. We must also finish what we have started. Dr. Mike Murdoch said that your exit will be remembered longer than your entry. It doesn't matter how you walk into a place, but what matters most is how you leave that place. Your exit will be remembered longer than your entry. Nobody greets you well done for laying the foundation of your house. They only greet you well done for the completion of that house. It is not enough to start. We must finish what we have started. If you want to be remembered for something, if you want to be remembered in your lifetime, you must finish what you have started. I'll tell us a story about two judges that were contesting for an election in America, and they organized a debate for them. And one of the judges came out and said so many things about the other judge. So many things about the other judge. How the judge had a terrible character, how he lacked integrity. So many things were said about the other judge. And the moderator came up and said, so many things have been said about your person and your integrity. What do you have to say to your opponent? And the judge came and said that, I used to have a dog, and this dog would bark and bark and bark and bark every night. And I didn't know why the dog kept barking. And I came out to check why the dog kept barking and barking. And I discovered that the dog kept barking at the moon. But while the dog kept barking, the moon kept shining. What is the lesson behind the story? No matter what people say about you, just keep shining, keep shining, keep shining. The dog kept barking at the moon, but the moon kept on shining. If your excuse for not finishing is because what people say about you have discouraged you or has, killed your enthusiasm, it shouldn't. Keep shining, keep shining. If you didn't hear anything, if you didn't learn anything from today's episode, we must remember that we should keep shining no matter what happens. Life is all about hard work. Life is all about commitment. I don't care what your story is. I don't care what you've been through in life. I have an inspiring story myself. I lost my dad 5 days before my SSCE examinations, and I was so discouraged, I was so devastated, and I felt my world had ended. But it was an opportunity for me to get up and pick my life together and be focused and do something with my life. And I got up and I said something. I said, I must do something so my generation can celebrate me. I must do something to be remembered in my lifetime. And I got up and I said, even if I lost my dad, I haven't lost God. It's an opportunity to be connected directly to the source. And so with everything we went through that period, it was enough inspiration for me to work hard and maximize my potential. I like to encourage people a lot. It's my passion. I'm passionate about it. In case you're listening to me right now and you feel that your whole world has ended, you feel like life is not, being too fair, I have good news for you. You are too loaded to fail. God loves you, and it is possible for you to be celebrated. Just get up now, get excited about life, do something positive with your life, and be remembered for something. Today we're honored to have a Nollywood actor, a TV presenter, an inspiration to countless youths all over the world, and the winner of Big Brother Africa All Stars. He's also I call him my brother, UTI NWACHUKWU. Welcome to Activating Success.
Thank you. Sister, I cannot pronounce my surname. NWACHUKWU.
So what's the correct pronunciation?
NWACHUKWU.
NWACHUKWU.
Yeah, it's like NW, so it's like NWACHUKWU. The N is silent, like Django. D is silent.
Is that the real actual pronunciation?
It's the actual. The celebrity pronunciation is NWACHUKWU. So it's NWACHUKWU. Yeah, NWACHUKWU.
Okay. Don't start. Can you share with us your journey through childhood, schools, and now as an international celebrity?
Celebrated internationally. Well, if I'm going to share that journey, we're going to be here till tomorrow. But
like a summary.
Summary. Well, I was born in Ughelli in Bendel State then, and yeah, pretty normal childhood. Close family members. You know, we were very close because the town was very small. We used to always be indoors because my dad didn't want us to associate with the ruffians. So I watched a lot of TV back then. I was always watching, you know, musical videos, movies, series, and what have you. So I think that's where the passion started. I used to daydream about doing those things I saw on TV. And I went to school at Alaja, DSC Mono Primary School 3, and I was always the class monitor because I was very mischievous, and but at the same time I guess I had charisma and charm. So in as much as I was mischievous, and I was also very creative and outspoken, as you would have it. So yeah, they could just see my qualities, the teachers, and I always used to stand out at social activities too. And then after that I went to Grenadian Secondary School, where I was social prefect twice, both junior school and senior school, and I guess that's when I knew for a fact that I wanted to be an entertainer. That school was really, it's still good, but we're exposed to a lot of things like like singing. We had the arts festival where you had the dancing competition, you had acting, drama, you had a cultural display, and I would just come alive during the arts festival. I think it was during around November period. So for me, I just said, God, I really want to get paid to do these things I'm doing. So after that, I went to Nsukka, diploma for 2 years, worked at a bank, and that was it for me. That was the closure, because I worked for a year at the bank. I was good. I made senior bulk teller. I was very meticulous and hardworking, but that was it for me, because even when it was time to balance the cash, I would increase the volume of the TV and change it from CNN to MTV, and then my bosses would be like, "How are you this boy? You and TV?" And I finished come to I go and help others balance. I'm like, oh, and then I'll rush, help others balance, and then just to catch up with the top 10 or top 5 or the latest series, and they'll be fascinated. I'm like, Uti, you won't be surprised if you see you on TV, and I'll just chuckle. So I tried to, after that, I tried to school abroad because I always wanted to break into Hollywood. I tried to go as a student, but I wasn't granted the visa. Actually, I wasn't granted the visa because I won the visa lottery, and I got rejected because of a name error, first name, last name error. So when I applied for student visa, they thought I was trying to use that to run, and I tried the UK, the same rejection. And my dad was like, you know what, just go to a private university. Before you know it, you'll be out. If not, you might just wake up one day, you're 30 and you're still an undergraduate, and just get your certificate. So I went to BIU, Benson Dawson University, in 2006. And yeah, for me, I guess going to university older sort of grounded me, and I knew what I was there for because my classmates were like 4 or 5 years younger than me. So I felt like an old man, old Papa Yongi. So yeah, while I was there, I just said, you know what, I'm not going to waste time. While I'm still here during the holidays, I'll still try out what I wanted. I tried out Big Brother Africa the first time. I was late for the auditions. I missed it, but That was in 2007, and I said, you know what, I want to be on reality TV this year. So I saw a flyer for Next Movie Star, and I was like, what the heck, let me try it. So I went for Next Movie Star. I was first runner up. In my mind, I was like, God, let me not win this thing so I can still go for Big Brother.
Big Brother.
You know, because that was my ultimate goal. I mean, when I watched Big Brother the first time in 2003, I was like, you know, I'm highly opinionated. So I said, I have a lot to say and I want the world to hear me, and it's a way to advertise my talent because of course Big Brother is a platform to grow in any part of the industry. So yeah, so in 2008, this time around, I made the audition. I went. We all know what happened. I got evicted because I acted out when someone I liked was evicted. So the next following week, people thought I was violent, and then I got evicted. But I went back to school, final year, and I had to do marathon reading. And I think because of that pressure, I had no choice but to read because I did not want to carry over after all the millions that I had paid. So I had to read, and then some lecturers refused to give me assessment. They're like, no, you missed it. You know, some were kind enough to give me a makeup test or makeup assignments, but some just did not, you know, give me that. And my HOD had to plead with some to allow me write the exam. And okay, if you pass the exam, you passed my course. So I ended up getting about 50 something or 60 something over 70 in some papers. Wow. Yeah, at the end of the day, I graduated with a 3.9 GPA at the top of my class. I mean, I remember the day I just gave my father my certificate, and I was like, see your certificate, so can I go back to entertainment? He was like, wow. And then he was hailing me, oh, you came mad, you know. So he was really proud of that. And that's when I got on Tinsel. After my NYSC, I got on Tinsel. No, before or during my NYSC, one of them, but I was shuttling between NYSC and Tinsel. And just as my NYSC ended, Big Brother Africa called me All Stars. And that was really life-changing for me.
For someone watching you right now who is discouraged about life, who is depressed, who is confused, who is frustrated, who is at the verge of giving up, what word of encouragement do you have for such a person?
You need Jesus.
Yes.
You need Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah, because like I said, that visa lottery time when I was rejected, after I won, and you know, and because I was going for student visa, I was praying that God, I went on fasting and praying to say, please, oh, help me, give me a good school, affordable enough. You know, so when I won the visa lottery, I know with visa lottery you have a green card, so your school fees is next to nothing. So I just said, God has answered in a heavy way. So I felt punked by God. I felt like God was punking me when they still rejected me because it didn't add up. I'm like, so why did God allow me win this thing, knowing that, you know, God has His own plans? So I said I wasn't going to go to church again. I said, to hell with it. I'm not going. God doesn't like me. He's not taking me seriously. He's punishing me. Maybe I've done something. Then I hadn't really been a very deep Christian. So I had a lot of misconceptions in my head. So at that moment, my friend Hamilton, God bless him, I was saying the same thing to him, and I was like, I would see, Kai, don't you know that is when your day is about to break that the devil comes to discourage you? I'm like, I beg you, God knew that I was supposed to go. Why did you allow me with the visa lottery? I'd have gone with my normal student visa. Blah blah. He said, Uti, calm down. For this might see big things, big errors happen to great people.
That's true.
Is it a small thing? Look, when you are a small person, you think the devil will even remember you. So when you are big and something this big, do you know what it is to be selected out of millions to win a visa lottery, then they now still reject you? That's a sign that you are going somewhere and the devil is trying to discourage you. He says, and I can prophesy to you now that you are probably the person that put your family's name on the map. Locally and internationally. I say, are you serious? Yes, go back to church. At this time now, even thank God, even love God the more Just go back and trust him. Trust me on this. If your life doesn't change, don't listen to anything I say again. So I was humbled. Yes, I was humbled by what Hamilton told me. And I went back to church and I went to City of David, and that was when I took my first altar call, July 2006. In front of everybody, they say, if you know you've known or you've been backsliding, you know that altar call. I stood up, I went, and that's it. My life just turned around like that. From 2006, that's when everything just started happening. So
changed your story.
Yeah, it changed my story. So whoever is discouraged now, I mean, that's the time you need to draw back to God. I think God loves the broken soul. When you're broken, when you've been humbled and reduced to nothing, you understand. That's when you can appreciate His mercy. Take over. You know, I'm letting go. You know, I'm letting go. Exactly. You have to let go. You have to let go. At that time where you feel like it's over. Nobody, no human being, nothing can change my life. That's when God now say, now watch me walk. So at that moment in your life, that's when you should actually draw closer. That's when you should now say, see me, I'm not doing anything. If you want to take me, but see me, I'm here. I'm in your hands. Then He will now say, come. But you have to be willing to move when it's time to move, because you're not going to sit down and then things will come. Because at that time, when you meet people, and people will, you have to be able to recognize an opportunity and never be discouraged because of what has happened to you before. Never be discouraged so much that you're not willing to take another step when you see the green light. So me, when I saw green light, I was like, okay. The first green light I saw was one Hamilton's friend, a lady that said, I'm into modeling. Joy, I think was her name, or Joyce. So I'm into modeling. I want to put you in a music video. The pay is very small. And then I did Tunde Wumi Obe's video, Mogbomoya. As my first appearance. Yes.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and then my friend Richard, who escorted me to the Big Brother house the first time, his sister used to work for a modeling agency, and that's when I appeared on the Airtel billboard, make new friends. She's like, just bring your pictures, it doesn't matter, bring your pictures. And I never saw myself as a model. In fact, in Unsuka, I met a friend, Ijoma Oneme, and she was like, modelum, that's what I used to call her modelum. And she would say, Uti, you can be a model. You know, I was in Saple, and with Saple, modeling was nothing. So I just said, okay, let me try. That's when I actually met Franco Shodi too. She introduced me to Franco Shodi, and today Franco Shodi is like my mentor in the modeling industry, just like Desmond is my mentor in the movie industry. So, so when the girl was telling me that, I just said, okay, let me still try. I still give her my pictures, and I was selected. And, my life just changed from that year, that 2006. Everything I wanted just started manifesting.
Because you brought God into your plan.
Yes, I did bring God. Well, I've always had God in my plans. Like I said, that's why I felt cheated or punked by God. But I now knew what it was to totally trust God and not rely on. You can trust God and say 50% God, 50% me. But this time, it's 100% God. Yeah, so I just knew that all this was happening because God was ready to woo me, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So, yeah.
Now, if you have an opportunity to live your life all over again, is there something you want to do differently?
I would love to give my life earlier. Yeah, that's the only thing I would have loved to do. I would have loved to give my life earlier. But God's timing is perfect. Yeah. God's timing is perfect. The only regret I have is all the time I wasted worrying. I'm like, hi, if only I had just relaxed and enjoyed that moment. Because I tell people, I say, look, worrying won't change anything. It's even there in the Bible. By worrying, you can't even grow a strand of hair. You understand? So there are some moments I'd have just enjoyed and learned the lesson instead of saying, hey, where will I be? Where will I go tomorrow? Am I going to be successful? No, enjoy every moment. Even when you are complaining that this one, they are sending me message, they are doing this, enjoy it, because there's a lesson in every aspect of our lives. There's a lesson to be learned. So I wish I had never had to complain or waste time worrying, and I just known and trusted God that all will be well. Yeah, that's the only thing I would change. But I won't change any other event. Everything that has happened for a reason, and it's made me who I am today, and it's contributed to the strength I possess inside of me. Yeah.
What's your favorite inspirational song?
Oh, that's easy. The minute I heard it just reached. I just connected with it, and that was when I was in a bus from Benin to Lagos. I think that was the first time I was going to the Big Brother auditions, and it came on, and something in me just moved. I was just listening, and then I heard I think it was it was the chorus I heard. First of all, what attracted me to it was the beginning, the instrumentals, and I was like, okay, this is deep. It was soulful, like R&B, and I think the first words got me. It was like, I'm so very ordinary, nothing special, on my own. I even thought, I'm singing it already, and I was like, nothing special on my own. At first I thought it was a love song. I was expecting the lady to now say, but you came along and you loved me and made me, I love you, baby, because I love romantic songs. So I was expecting one romance, so I was still like, oh, this is probably my next favorite earphone jam. And then she went on. She was like, okay, I'm so very ordinary, nothing special on my own. I have never walked on water. Then I was like, okay, this song is going somewhere. Like, I have never calmed a storm. Sometimes I'm hiding away from the madness around me. I think like a child who's afraid of the storm. But when I call on Jesus, all things are possible. Like mighty wings of eagle and soar. When I call on Jesus, mountains are gonna move. Summon heaven and earth to answer. Heaven and earth to something. Come rescue me when I call. La 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 la. I think I had tears in my eyes. I was so humbled, and then I started praying in the bus. I'm like, I am ordinary. I'm just an ordinary guy. I was humbled, and I was like, you know what? I believe that when I call on you, all things are possible. I'm calling on you for this thing. And then for every time I ever faced any difficulty, even when I had to go back to Nsukka to get my original transcript. Now these things take like months, right? And this was a Friday, and my school BRU told me I had less than how many. I had that weekend to go and produce my original certificate. So people were telling me, just forget it, Nsukka Federal University, there's no how they're going to answer you. So when they're telling me to wait, I started singing this song outside. I first prayed, I went, everything was so fast, up until the final signature, which was the biggest man in the office. They say, it's Friday, these people leave early. The woman, I was so humble. I went, I turned on my Puss in Boots eyes. I was like, please. And she was very kind to me. This is the same woman that was driving people. I can't get to my office. But for some funny reason, it was God. And then when it was time for that man to sign, she was like, this is Friday, my child. If you just pray that he comes. Pray that he signs it even when he comes, because he just comes and goes. I'm like, kai. So I was outside waiting, because I had traveled from Benin to Nsukka, and this was a Friday. So I just started singing that song, singing it over and over again. In less than 30 minutes, they called me, said, come and take your transcript. When I went back, I told my mom, said, what? In one day? Nobody believed it. My original transcript. I mean, abroad, these things are easy. In hours, you get your transcript, but you know how it is here in Nigeria. So I was like, what? You got to show you one day? So, for every tough situation I face, I just remember that song, start singing it, I'm like, with God, all things are possible now. So, that song like re-energizes me, re-energizes my faith.
Yeah, a lot of young people out there are looking up to you. Yeah. And they want to hear you speak a word of encouragement into their life. Say something to encourage them.
They say favor. I don't like the word luck, so I like to use favor. Is when preparation meets opportunity. You always have to be prepared. You have to be that desire in your heart. Like me, if you wake me up from sleep now and say you have a TV audition now, I would like to believe I would nail it. The same thing for acting. The same thing for music. Because every day my life is about preparing. Without knowing I'm preparing. I watch TV. I don't watch TV just for the enjoyment of it, or I'm watching it to learn at the same time. So always use every opportunity to learn, so that when you're faced with an unprepared, when you're faced with a situation where you were not aware of beforehand, you'll be able to ace it. But most of all, you need Jesus. You need Jesus. Jesus. Yeah.
You just reminded me something. Dr. Mahmoud said that whatever you love to do is a clue to what God has assigned you to.
Exactly.
So, find out what you enjoy doing, what you love to do.
It's usually what you're daydreaming about.
Yeah.
Every time, what you're thinking about, even when you're like, okay, yeah, that's what it is.
So, thank you very much. It's you.
Tons a bunch.
For somebody watching us right now, I'd like to encourage you to get excited about life. Stand up now, get up now, do something positive with your life. Maybe you made a mistake, but you're not a mistake. You have what it takes to be celebrated. Maybe somebody in your family, your whole family, has given up on you. Maybe somebody has told you that nothing good will come out of you. Just believe in yourself, be determined, be focused, and I believe that your world will celebrate you. Thank you.
You've been trying to figure right from wrong, and the tears been falling for so long.